Hello, this is Thom Singer, and I am coming to you from the Small Business Festival 2017 in Austin, Texas. And there has been a lineup of some amazing speakers today. And we are joined now by Dr. Lisa Walker. Lisa,
hey,
thank you for joining us. And your speech was all about emotional intelligence.
Yes, it was.
Could you tell the audience a little bit about, first of all, who you are and what you do, and then about the speech you delivered today?
Thank you, certainly will. As you said, Dr. Lisa Walker with Lisa Walker Consultancy, and the work I do is executive coaching. As a psychologist, I bring to that role vast experience in working with folks, building self-awareness and managing relationships effectively, which is one of the biggest things that most of my clients hire me for. It's how do I manage this role I'm in as a CEO, a CFO, a director, a manager? How do I grow in this place and how do I support my team? And emotional intelligence is the primary ingredient for building that.
So today you shared some of that with the audience. What were some of the key points that you gave?
Well, the main point is it starts with you. Look in the mirror, looking at yourself, start with self-awareness and be okay with understanding your emotions. What are they telling you? What do they say about you? When you walk into a room, how do you change the environment? Are you aware of that? Are you able to manage that well? And in doing so, you then manage your relationships more effectively when you're aware of that.
So for small business people, sometimes you have so many balls in the air, it's hard to pay attention to self. So what advice do you have?
Absolutely. So it starts again, mindfulness, being mindful of who you are, where you are, the important relationships in your business. So your business partner, your customers, your network, your neighbors, how do you manage those? And so all of us, no matter what type of career or job or business we have, relationships are the core. And so we've got to pay attention and give it the attention that they need.
So a lot of people who are starting a business, they sort of forget that relationship piece. It's very easy to get caught up with finances or product or vendors or whatever it is. How important is that networking, and how does someone navigate that with all the other things on their plate?
Yeah, good question. So in my talk this morning, I shared with all those business folks that sometimes we miss the boat when things are not going well in the business. We think, well, it's about the revenues, it's about testimonials, it's about the bottom line, when really it's about what's going on in here, in how I'm managing the relationships and how I'm managing self. So I remind each of us to go back to that base. How am I showing up? And how am I adding value to each relationship that I'm in to ensure that not only is my business doing well, but the person I'm relating to, that they're doing well as well. So it's keeping that focus at all times. We can't step off that. Yeah.
So how long ago did you launch out on your own and start your consultancy?
So, I've been a private practitioner for about 12 to 13 years now. The bulk of that time, I did a lot of clinical work and a lot of relationship work with folks going through challenging divorce. As I worked with a lot of those business folks, they then came back to me to work on the business side of their relationships, not their marriage or family matters anymore, but the business side of it. And that then gave growth to the executive coaching piece of my work, where I went back to business school, got trained in that area. So I combined my clinical background and experience with my business training to support my clients in this way.
So what are a couple of the biggest challenges that these executives who you coach face that you can share with the audience?
For most of my clients, it's balancing work and life. So a lot of my folks are smart. I'd say my clients are smart go-getters. That's the kind of client I tend to attract, and they want it all. They want to excel at work and they want to manage things well at home. And sometimes they don't have all the skill sets to do that. So what I do is work with them, starting with the primary thing that brought them in, and then build the story out from there. We develop a number of goals that will not only impact the work environment, but impact the personal life as well. So they're learning how to balance work and life more effectively. So that, I'd say, is the number one thing that most of my clients come in with.
So a lot of people who are looking to start a business, that's a hard thing. It's getting buy-in from your spouse and your kids. What advice do you have for someone who's out there who says, wow, if I do this balance, that keeping all the balls in the air becomes important. Yes. What advice do you have?
It's interesting. So this morning I spoke with one of those business people here in our festival, and that's a concern of hers. And I said to her, be sure to share your passion with your husband. Let him know what this means for you and the vision you have for the family and for the children. And be patient with him. And while you're taking care of business, take care of your relationship with your spouse and the children, so he can see that you're doing everything that you need to do to manage as best as you can. And over time, they usually buy in. Yes.
So for a small business person, how important is it to attend things like the Small Business Festival?
Oh, wow. Just sitting through some of the presentations this morning alone, a wealth of information. My clients pay top dollars to get that information, whether privately or other functions like this. And here we have business folks coming in, and we're getting so much in each 20-minute segment. It just blew my mind. Amazing information being shared. So it's a great place to be.
So you have children and you have a child who's in college.
Yes.
What advice would you have for her if she was going to go out and start her own business?
Well, you know, the first thing I'd say, Chrissy, a lot of the stuff that you and I have been talking about self-awareness, about relationship management, pay attention, continue to pay attention to those things and make the right connections to set up your network for your business, because that's critical. You may have resources, you may have know-how, but if you don't have the right people around you, your network of support, it's going to be more challenging for you.
So do you think it's a good example to be an entrepreneur for your children?
Absolutely. That's what my kids have seen with their dad and with myself, and so they've bought into it. In fact, my daughter in college is a business person already, so yeah, absolutely. They've bought it. They've drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, thank you for coming out and sharing so much about emotional intelligence. She did an absolutely wonderful job. If you can catch that video, you want to go back and watch that. And if you've never been to the Small Business Festival, you want to make sure that you're planning to be at the next one. Dr. Lisa Walker, if people want to find out more about you, how do they do that?
Pretty easy. Check me out on LinkedIn. You'll find everything there to connect you to wherever you need to find me. Message me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to reach out to folks.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
And again, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Thom.